The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Missouri, the chair of our Capital Markets Subcommittee. Ms. Wagner, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. Throughout my time in Congress, one of my top priorities has been to protect our most vulnerable from financial exploitation and fraud. As part of my work as chairman of the Capital Markets Subcommittee, I have been very proud to champion the Financial Exploitation Prevention Act, which would provide a powerful tool to protect senior investors and ensure that their retirement accounts are safe when they need them the most. Vice Chair Bowman, you have spoken often on the issue of fraud, and in particular check fraud, which has grown substantially over the past several years. In 2022, financial institutions filed 680,000 suspicious activity reports, or SARS, related to check fraud, an increase of over 700% from just a decade earlier. While checks use has decreased in recent years, around 3/4 of retirement age individuals still use them regularly. You highlighted that while check fraud has been a well-known problem for several years, regulators have been slow to address the harm that it does to banks, especially community banks, as well as consumers and businesses that are oftentimes its victims. What actions do you think regulators themselves can take to address check fraud, and what areas, if any, would require congressional action?
Well, thank you for addressing that very important issue. As a former community banker, I recognize that every time I speak with community bankers, this is one of the top issues that they continue to bring up year after year. So one of the first actions that I took as the Vice Chair for Supervision was to move forward with my colleagues in an interagency request for information to the public about check fraud and payments fraud more generally. So we're in the process of reviewing those comments. We've formed a working group, and our intention is to expand that to other areas of the administration so that all of those that may have some sort of authority over the activities that are a part of reviewing a check fraud or fraudulent activity can come together to understand how we can take better action and to mitigate.
Well, I thank you for that, and I hope that you'll keep my office and myself in the loop when it comes to regulatory actions, and then also any kind of congressional action that that we can take. It's a big problem, and one that I'm very focused on.
I look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Earlier this Congress, in response to the previous administration's burdensome proposal on the Basel III endgame, I sent a bipartisan letter highlighting concerns with the proposal's treatment of securitized assets. Specifically, the Biden administration went much too far in its changes to what is known as the P factor, which would have led U.S. banks to require double or even triple the capital set asides that were required of banks in Europe and other jurisdictions, even when U.S. banks would have dealt with the exact same assets. Thankfully, the Trump administration is reworking its Basel III endgame proposal to shore up the international competitiveness of American banks and free up capital to provide credit to home buyers, small businesses, farmers that would otherwise have been locked up under President Biden's proposal. Vice Chair Bowman, what is the Fed doing to ensure that this and other changes that add unnecessary red tape do not make it into any new Basel III endgame proposal?
Well, I'd love to address that question. Obviously, I've had provided a lot of public statements about the previous efforts on the Basel rule.
Yes, you have.
We currently are working together with my interagency colleagues to move forward with a Basel proposal that works from a risk-focused perspective from the bottom up to create a rule that would be more consistent with the Basel 2017 agreement, so that we're not going beyond the scope of that agreement unless it's to the benefit of the U.S. institutions.
Well, I hope you pay particular attention to this P factor. I'm very concerned at what the Biden administration did in going way too far in that regard. Acting Chair Hill, the FDIC, under your leadership, has done great work to ensure its regulations, including the asset thresholds that are used to determine supervision requirements. They're tailored to fit the many different financial institutions under its purview. I have several questions in this regard, but I'm over my time, so I'm going to submit them to you, and I look forward to your response. Mr. Chair, I yield back.